In this lesson, we'll learn how to change scenes using the Storyboard API. As of the recording of this title, the Storyboard API is one of the newer APIs in Corona. It's available in build.678 and later. I've created an application that has 4 scenes. Each scene is a separate Lua file. So when I tap the scene slides over or slides up, and the new scene is loaded. You can also see that there are animations in each scene. We'll start with the main.lua file and create the following code. We'll create a variable called storyboard, and we'll set it equal to the result of require storyboard. And here we're calling the storyboard class and loading it into the variable storyboard. Then we'll call the goToScene method of the storyboard class. And for the argument, we'll pass the name of the Lua file to load. Now we haven't created scene 1 yet. Let's do that now. We'll create a new file and we'll save it as scene1.lua. Then we'll create local storyboard is equal to require storyboard. And we'll do this for each of our scenes. Then we'll create a local variable called scene and set it equal to storyboard.newScene. Finally, we'll return this variable scene. And you need to do this for each Lua file that you wish to load with the storyboard class. The storyboard API is event-based. We'll add event listeners for the create scene, enter scene, and exit scene events. And we'll handle them with the scene object. Now we'll create the methods to handle these events. The create scene event is called when the scene is first loaded. Enter scene is then called after that, and when you exit a scene, the exit scene event is fired. There are more events than just these 3. Refer to the Storyboard API documentation for more. We'll create all of our visual objects within the create scene function. Before doing that, we're going to create 2 references, local foo and local spinit. We'll do this because we'll need to access these objects throughout each of the different functions. Now within the create scene function, we'll type local view equals self.view. So this is really important. The .view property represents the global group for the scene. We'll insert all of our display objects into this group. First, we'll create a background. And because I define the width and height constants as globals, I can access them within the scene. Now what's really important here is I need to insert the background within the view. So it's best to think of the view as a big group. Now I'll create a text display object. And let me define font. And then insert it within the view. Then we'll define the image, which is foo. And remember that we already declared this a local variable at line 4. And we'll use new image rect. Then insert foo into the view. Okay, before going any further, let's take a look at the result. And there we have the text label and the image object. Now we'll make the text label interactive by adding a tap event listener. And within the tap event, we'll call storyboard.goToScene For the first argument, the scene to load, which here would be scene 2, so that's the name of the Lua file. And then for the second argument, a table of values that affects the loading of the scene. So we'll use an effect, slide left, and we'll have it go over 250 milliseconds. And there is no easing property here, it'll be straight linear. Okay, we haven't created scene 2 yet, so if we tried this out, it would fail. So we'll wait to do that. Now, within the enter scene function, we'll animate the foo object. We'll use a runtime event listener, and we'll listen for enter frame, and we'll call spin it. Let's define that. Function spin it. And here, we'll affect the foo object. We'll set its rotation equal to its current value, plus 1, and then mod 360. And remember that we did declare spin it on line 5, so we can access it outside of this particular function, which we'll need to do because when we exit the scene, we'll want to remove this event listener, and this is really important. If we don't do this, we could create a memory leak, which would be pretty bad. And then as well, we'll purge this scene. And what this will do is it'll remove all the display objects, clean it out from memory, so that we can retain as much resources as possible. Okay, let's create a new file, and we'll save it as scene2.lua. And we'll head back to scene1.lua, copy everything, and paste within scene2.lua. And now let's change a few of the values. So first, the label will be scene2, and we'll go to scene3. And instead of foo, we'll have bar, and we'll just do a find and replace for this. And we'll want to head to scene 3, and we'll slide up. And everything else looks good. If we have any errors, we'll catch them as they appear. Now to save time, I'm going to go ahead and copy files I've already created for scenes 3 and 4. And that's in the end folder of the working files. I'll tap scene 1, slides over scene 2, scene 3, and scene 4. And it looks like I forgot to set the color of the background, but that's okay. I just caught one small mistake in scene 2, and that's under purge scene. It should say scene 2. So while we're doing that, we'll head back and refresh. So scene 1, scene 2, 3, 4, and we'll keep going around. This ends our lesson on changing scenes with the Storyboard API.